LTV's Action Sports is brought to you in part through the generous support of these Leominster sponsors by MP Crowley Company Incorporated. www.mpcrowleyinc.com.
Yep.
Tonight on LTV, two teams coming off opposite sides of blowout games. Westford Academy Grey Ghosts and the Leominster High School Blue Devils. Football action from Doyle Field. Hello again, everyone, from high above said Doyle Field. Alongside Liam Curtin and our LTV production crew, I'm Cody Roy. And Liam, good chance for the Blue Devils to right the ship tonight.
Absolutely. First things first, when you're coming off of a game like last week, the big thing right now is let's just start off on a positive note. We had a game with a lot of negatives, but we also had some positives. Let's carry that into this upcoming game. Let's just walk out of here with a win, head into the bye, start the second half of the season on a win streak. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
On the other side comes Westford off a 49-0 win of Belmont last week, sitting 2-1, 17th in Division 1 to Leominster's 10th. Still went up despite the big loss. Some good points and strength of schedule for them.
That's all that matters. Last week, what did you say they were? Were they 14th or something like that?
14th.
All right, so hey, moving up 4 spots, it's going to end up helping you get to a better seed for this game. I mean, at the end of the day, with the way that Central Mass, just MIA in general, the way that their playoffs are structured, you want to be one of those top 8 seeds. There's going to be that 16-team format. As long as you're one of those top 8 seeds where you can start out with a home game, that is beyond a game changer. Everybody knows how pivotal it is to play a playoff game on your home turf. We haven't seen Leominster do that in a couple of years since they had their 8-3 season a couple of years ago. And, I mean, we've seen this team play well at home. Obviously, last week was an exception, but, again, that's what happens when you play great football teams. That's exactly what Catholic Memorial was, a great football team. And tonight, we're going to have a great game between two really solid teams tonight, and it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you, Cody.
I am too. Going to be a great night tonight. Much like last week, winds are calm. It's a nice balmy night here at Doyle Field. Looking at about 70 degrees at kickoff.
Absolutely.
Very little wind, if any.
We've been really blessed the past couple weeks with weather. Last week it was beautiful. It was 70, perfect skies out. The lights always add that little bit of extra flair to the games, obviously. But just having all of that, carrying that into another week of perfect weather, it's electric. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it.
It is. It's a perfect night for a football game. We pause for just a moment for the presentation of the national anthem. Don't go anywhere after this. Blue Devils football against Westford Academy. believe a moment ago, if I saw it correctly, it's going to be Westford Academy to receive.
Start with your defense, one of Leominster's strong points. Going to start out with Xavier Cora on the defensive side of the ball. I love that. Such a game changer. I think the big thing, too, is making sure you get pass rush this week. Last week we saw that wasn't exactly a strong suit. Just being able to put some pressure on the quarterback, make some errant decisions out of these guys. I think that's going to be the key thing for this defense. Again, last week we saw it with Catholic Memorial's quarterback. He was able to escape really easily. It was almost like watching a mirror of Osiris Lopez these past couple weeks. So hopefully tonight, I'm not exactly sure if we're going to see that out of Alex Wilson, Westford Academy's starting quarterback, but we will see.
Something you and I had talked about too, Leo. We'd like to see Leominster starting with the kickoff. Always been a second half team, and this gives their offense a chance to settle in.
Exactly, and it also adds to the fact that you can have those 2-for-1 opportunities, end of the second half end of the first half going into the start of the second half. Those 2-minute possessions at the end of the first half where you can put points on the board and then follow that up by going on offense to start the game. Game changers.
Evan Pastures and Ryan Kyle back. And this will be Kyle, fields it at the 10. Already getting some momentum under his feet. Hard to bring down. And it took a few Blue Devils to get past the 35.
And that was just great blocking right there on the return team. They opened up an alley for Kyle to just walk right down it. Didn't have any trouble. Didn't get first contact until about the 35-yard line. Took a couple guys with him, got tackled down. So Westford's going to have some good starting field position where Alex Wilson and this Grey Ghost offense is going to start.
And will be Wilson wearing number 1 in white. The senior captain quarterback.
And he had a solid game last year too, so we're going to see Leominster remembers him a little bit, remember the tendencies that he might have had.
Out of shotgun, trips to the right, and he's going to take this one himself out to the left. Still going and still up on his feet, finally forced out of bounds, and he'll get some good yardage out of that.
Yeah, and if I remember right, last year, I don't think he was their starting quarterback, so he was a guy that they used out of the slot receiver in that running back position. If I'm remembering him right, I might not be, for all I know. But he adds that dual threat ability. So again, just this is what we see with high school football nowadays. You're not going to have these pocket passer quarterbacks everywhere unless you're truly one of the most elite. The way that it works here in Massachusetts, you're going to have a kid that can be a threat through the air and through his legs.
Jamison Moran to the right, and he's going to take this one himself, goes up the gut, and just to midfield.
Yeah, so we'll see right now, Moran just following his guard right there, great blocking up front, enough to get the first down. We're going to see right here, changing the personnel a little bit. So we're going to see some new backs in here.
Quinn Reynolds, senior captain among others, stepping on.
We're seeing a lot of 12 personnel. So for everyone that doesn't know, 1 running back, 2 tight ends.
And this will be another run going up the gut. Can't get a whole lot on that one.
That was a great play by Xavier Cora, folks. You see the opposite guard pulling. You see another guard pulling. They're trying to make sure that they have the weight advantage on that strong side of the play. Xavier Cora sets the edge there, makes sure that their running back, he can't cut to the outside where they don't have help, forces them to cut back on the inside. Instead, fights off a block. Great tackle right there.
2nd and 9. I'll pick up a yard on that. Still threatening midfield.
I think the other thing to look out for this game, Leominster without one of their starting cornerbacks, Juan Miranda, although they're going to have the same cornerbacks that they had last week.
Miranda still dealing with that nagging hand injury and still on his feet, still going, and he is going to go all the way. Alex Wilson. And he was brought down on a horse collar, but we see the spotting of the ball. I believe they are going to call it a touchdown. Didn't see a hand signal anywhere, but
yeah, we saw it from the back official. He wasn't too exhilarating and really convincing with his form there. He just put 2 hands up kind of measly a little bit. But again, 6 points on the board for Westford. So we're going to get looks like about a 50-yard touchdown run there.
I believe go down as 51. And we'll kick it here. Ryan Kyle's the kicker. And that is high and right down the middle. 7-0 Westford, in the early going.
Yeah, big thing we saw there, they were able to get the advantage on the outside. They have that QB power. Seems like it's going to be a bread and butter for them. We haven't seen them hit through the air yet, but I mean, hey, when you have a quarterback that dynamic, why would you try anything else?
It's much like we see with Leominster and Osiris Lopez. If you have a quarterback that can do it on his feet, don't always need to throw it.
Exactly. You have to use that ability. You put a lot more stress on the defense because you know that the quarterback can keep it, he can hand it off, he can throw it out to the flats, throw it deep. Just having these very complete quarterbacks that have a lack of flaws. I mean, you see that at any level, but we're seeing a lot more now. You don't have to worry as much about, oh, we have a guy that's not going to be able to use his legs at all. It's going to be tough for him to scramble, create with his legs. We see that with every quarterback now, though. I think we've only seen maybe one quarterback this year that might not have been as efficient, but again, he still had that ability. That's just what you see now with football in general.
It's this new era of quarterbacks gone to the Tom Brady pocket passers only. And this kick is going to land in bounds and make a very good bounce. And I believe Westfield falls on the ball.
Yeah, Westford, I think they watched the film of last week with Catholic Memorial. That was the big thing. We saw with that pooch kick where you're just trying to hit it in between that 30 to 40 yard line where it's really uncomfortable for this second level of the return team, and it's way too far out for the true returners to make their way up. Westford, they capitalize on it, so now guess what? Leominster's offense doesn't even get to come on to the field at all.
Back for Leominster were Ryan Ricker on the far side and Jack Parisi on the near side. Didn't reach them. Another pooch kick goes against Leominster, starting to find a bit of a kryptonite to their special teams. And under center here is Moran. Shovel pass out to the left. And he's going to be brought down at the 30.
Yeah, great job by Ben Marchetti. Looked like it was going to be a big play right there. Marchetti comes from the weak side. Basically has to work across the formation. Comes in with a nice shoulder tackle there. Gets him on the ground right there. And that was Moran that you said. And he's been really solid so far on the outside. I have a feeling that that's going to be their strong suit tonight. It looks like Westford's got two really solid tackles. Why not use that to your advantage?
Ground and pound game on the way from Westford. And a good hard count. Blue Devils don't jump. Yeah. I think they want it.
Would have been a cheap first down.
Shovel pass out to the right. It's Moran again. Still going. A lot of bodies in the pile.
Mika Powell there. He's going to be the guy that we got to look at. You set the edge, but you have to really fight through it. You can be great getting to the outside, but if you're not physical enough to actually get to that point of contact there with the running back, setting the edge, it doesn't really mean anything, because guess what? The running back is just going to cut anyways, and there's nothing that you can do there. You just got to be a little more physical. I know he's a freshman, so these things are going to pick up as the year goes on for him.
Gets the first down on that. That's the 23 now. Threatening once again.
You see 21 personnel here.
That's Moran again. Going out to the left, and he's met by a few Blue Devils. Finally brought down by Cora.
Richard Solomon, folks. First one to make sure that he met Moran in the backfield there. That's what you need out of these safeties tonight. It's basically the way that this game is started. You want to have more guys either in the box, or you want to make sure that you're watching out for these outside runs. We're seeing that a lot so far. Westford hasn't really hit up the middle yet. I'm sure they will at some point. But that's why they have these fullbacks and these tight ends to a certain side. They're trying to make sure that they get the man advantage. They want one more guy than what Leominster has on that side. So Leominster right now just has to shift the formation a little more.
No gain, 2nd and 10. He keep this one himself, and he's swallowed up. Blue Devils read that the whole way.
Nate Hankins turned into Superman a little bit there, folks. Fought off of his block from the tackle right there. Basically was just able to shed him. Looked great. He found inside positioning, and then he gets Alex Wilson right off the read option there. Just unfortunately for Wilson, didn't make the right call.
Picks up 3 on it, 3rd and 7 from the 20.
And again, these are free points. Whatever Westford can put on the board, these are free points that they're getting. Because now they're at 2 possessions, so Leominster's 0.
And this one handed off and brought down. It was Benjamin Shen, the senior.
We'll see, usually that's the type of play call you make if you're feeling like you're going to go for it on 4th or you have a good kicker. I'm not seeing a kicking unit come out, though, so I have a feeling they're going for it here. Don't be shocked, though, if they try to get them on a hard count here, sending in completely new personnel. Let's see what's happening.
5. Doesn't hurt to give it a try. You still have all 3 timeouts. Worth noting, too, from Westford, nothing but runs so far halfway through this first quarter.
Would be about a 35-yard field goal from here. A bit tough for a high school kicker, but that's why they're sending out 4th down personnel.
And it's Wilson, and they'll shovel it to Moran. Going down the right side, he's got a hole. Stays on his feet, still going. Finally brought down. He has the first down and a lot more.
Westford might have gotten away with a hold there, but hey, referee's not going to, or head official's not going to call it. Sometimes that's what happens, but first down for Westford right there.
1st and goal from the 5. Still nothing but runs. You have to put the ball in the air.
At some point, they're going to hit the play action. It's just a matter of they're going to be waiting until Leominster really pulls their guys up for one play, and then they'll test it the next play. So we'll see if the stack box comes at all. I mean, obviously, if you're in the spread formation like we saw in that last play, not gonna hedge the line of scrimmage quite as much.
1st and goal from the 5. Wilson fields a snap and shoveled off. Looking to go outside, can't bring it all the way in. That's Ryan Kyle.
And you want to know what's funny? That's actually technically their first pass play of the night with the touch pass there. So I think we're seeing a little bit there. Their passing game goes through the run. Anything like those touch passes, you might see screens eventually. Things like that where it's an extension of the run game. That's what they trust here. They trust their linemen enough. We're seeing a lot of seniors here on their front 5. So again, this is something that Westford feels is the strength of their game, and it's shown so far.
Lost a few yards on that, back to the 9.
And Leominster is showing a little respect for the passing game too.
Wilson's going to keep this one himself. Can't get it in. He's brought down past the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Marchetti, good job making sure that Wilson didn't get outside of him. Forced him a little bit inside just to make sure that he had some help on the tackle. As we've seen, Wilson's he's pretty tough to bring down so far. Basically like having an extra running back there.
Wilson, a big-bodied quarterback, that new style of quarterback like we were talking about. 3rd and 5.
We're getting shotgun eye here.
Wilson himself can't get it in. He's brought down short.
Yeah, Mika Powell right there. Made sure he came in unblocked, made sure it didn't get past him. Set the point of contact early. Wilson couldn't get past him.
And changing some personnel, looks like they're going to settle for the field goal. Like you said, still free points.
Exactly. Any points coming from the turnover, that's going to be the big thing here. Now we're going to see with Leominster on there, given that Westford puts it through the uprights here.
Pastures holding for Kyle. Kick. He's good.
Yeah.
10-0 your score. 3:08 to go in the first quarter.
I have a feeling they were thinking about going for it earlier in that drive on that 4th down. They were thinking of going for the field goal, just wanted to see if they could test their luck. They got there. Easier field goal, though. It was multi-play drive. Only ended up, really was around 35 yards, or not even, ended up really being 30 yards.
saw the Blue Devils defense hold them there.
That's going to be a big thing, too. I think because you start out with only defense in this game, some of these guys are going to be a little bit tired on offense. So I wouldn't be shocked if this might be a drive where maybe we're going to see a sprinkle of Aramis Reyes in there just to give Cora a bit of a breather. We know that he's the big guy that gets all these carries. Just make sure that you keep him fresh. You don't want him to get hurt as this game goes on. And obviously you have a bunch of other guys like Ryan Ricker and a lot of these guys on that front line. Just make sure that you're keeping them fresh on offense because they've been going nonstop on defense. Let's just get this offense going. Effective but efficient.
It's Ricker on the far side, Parisi on the near. And Zach Oliver standing where they attacked last time. They're going to go to Parisi here. Fields at the 22, cutting back to the middle and looking to go upfield. Gets past the 30 and brought down.
Yeah, so a bit of a personnel change there. Last couple weeks we've seen Wilbon there as he's filling in for Juan Miranda. This week now we're seeing Parisi coming in. So again, Leominster decided to make a change there, probably off of what was tough sledding last week in the special teams department.
Difficult one last week, and we saw Westford attack that same weakness again. Now for the first time tonight, we're going to look at Osiris Lopez in the Blue Devils offense. Has Cora to his right. Snap, and he's going to look to put this one in the air. Keeps it himself, and he's going to take this one for yards. Swallowed up by Moran.
And we have a penalty in the defensive secondary here, so let's see. I have a feeling it might be illegal contact or holding here. Yeah, it was going to be on the defense here, so let's see.
They're going to move the ball forward. Blue Devils get some more yards on it.
Yeah, face mask on one of the DBs. Looked like he was hitting on Zach Oliver as he was trying to make his way across the middle. Looked like he got a little bit of a tug on the helmet. Free 15 yards there. First down for Leominster, though.
Brings them across midfield. Easy yardage there.
And you'll take it, especially with the way that this game has started. You just want to get anything you can.
The Westford 46. Ricker in motion left to right. And we'll give this one to Cora. And he's going to be brought down. Just gets back to the original line.
Going to see a holding here, unfortunately. Looks like it was number 62. It looks like that's Vittorio Pimarini. Just unfortunately, guy got out of his frame. Can't do that when you tug on that outside shoulder. Referees are going to see that almost all the time.
And that'll erase some of the flag yardage we saw in the last play. Back to the wrong side of midfield once again.
Sets them up for a 1st and 20. Not ideal, but again, I think that's just going to set up Leominster. They might have to take a shot play earlier than expected.
Lopez has Cora behind him. Going to put this one in the air. Pass caught and still going. Couldn't be brought down right away. Jadis Delgado.
Yeah, I mean, if you see soft coverage on Delgado, why not hit him with a slant right there? Quick, easy pass for Lopez. Get him going into this game. We know that there's a lot of eyes on him tonight, more than usual. As we've seen, apparently we have some extra cameras coming in from external.
2nd and 3. Gain of 17 on that. Blue Devils get it right back, and Lopez going to take this one himself. Oh, still up. Spins through a tackle. He gets a few more yards on it.
He's going to make that close to a 1st down. It's probably going to be a couple inches. Let's see if they give him the 1st down, though.
Don't believe they are. Haven't seen a hand signal yet. They might bring the chains out.
Yeah, it's going to be really tight here. Yeah, they're bringing out the chains. Just kidding, folks. Don't listen to me.
3rd and inches now.
Yeah, it might be about half a yard. Let's see if they go with the power run game here now. Just trust Cora to go up the middle.
Lopez going to keep this one in the air. Pass caught by Delgado for a 1st down.
Great catch by him right there. A little bit out of frame for him, just being able to adjust at the catch point. Great stuff right there. Lopez trying to throw him open so he doesn't get hit by a guy either. Just get him at the 1st down, sit down. Let's worry about 1st down now.
It's a great read. Keep it safe. 3rd and 1 becomes a 1st and 10 entering the final minute of the 1st quarter. Leominster is driving. And they're going to give this one to Cora out to the left, and he's going to be swallowed up at the line.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there blocking scheme-wise. Looks like Westford sent a couple extra there than what Leominster had to really block for Cora there. Ends up just being a numbers game here. Leominster's always going to have 6 guys. They're always going to have a tight end and those 5 linemen. Westford, basically, I think they sent 6, so it was just a matter of somebody winning their one-on-one matchup or just really sending pressure in one specific gap.
2nd and 9, 18 seconds to go. Blue Devils are going to get one more for the end of the quarter. Lopez rolls to his right, steps back, pass in the end zone. He wants Ricker, and Ricker's going to get it right in the breadbasket.
That was great play call there. You saw there Zachary Oliver had a shorter split than what he normally has. Reason why you're doing that is you're trying to make sure that these safeties, they move over to the strong side of the passing formation. Makes it really easy for a guy like Ryan Ricker, who's a really great separator here. Runs the post, cross. It's a one-on-one between him and the slot corner who doesn't have positioning. That's exactly what you see right there. Great play call, great throw by Lopez, and great route by Ricker.
It's a great play from Leominster. Chance to make it 7 now. Elijah Rivera is the kicker.
You have to burn a timeout there, unfortunately. Looks like not everybody was on the same page of who was going to be out there for the kick.
Blue Devils first to burn one in the early going, but some fireworks early. 2 big plays for touchdowns in the first quarter.
That's what you see out of these teams. We know Leominster's been an explosive team. We're seeing it now with Westford. We haven't seen much of them so far this year, but hey, the run game, it's about as good as it gets, clearly. When you have a quarterback that can run like Wilson does, and I'm pretty sure he played slot and running back for them last year, so I'm not shocked that it's a really run-heavy based scheme. But we'll see that as the game goes on. We'll see if they try to use that play action, make some easy reads for them as the game goes on.
As Leominster keeps us close, especially with Westford getting the ball to go start, pretty much to start the second quarter. 9 seconds on the clock.
They'll get a return, and depending on how long the return goes, might get a playoff. Probably won't with how the clock usually works in these situations.
Snap is low, they're gonna fake it. Oh, and it's a fumble. Nobody can fall on it. Finally, Grey Ghost gets to it.
Yeah, again, big thing there. Leominster, even if they mess up, they have those fumbled snaps and whatnot, you still have the chance at 2 points, and you don't have to worry about Westford returning it because, again, in these new Federation high school rules, you can't return any sort of points after touchdowns. Can't return those the other way. You see that at the college level. You see that at the NFL level where you're able to take that the other way and get 2 points, but makes it really easy for Leominster, though, because that definitely would have been one of those situations where it's close for sure.
Would have had one player to beat at most had Rivera stayed on his feet. Snap came in, pretty much rolled in. Didn't have much of a choice there.
We're seeing here, though, Westford taking advantage of special teams right now. I think the big thing here, though, got to see where Rivera kicks it. Just put it somewhere where we saw in that last one, it was tough for him to return. He might have had an alley, but, again, these guys are tackling well. Let's just get that going.
Pastor's on the left, Kyle on the right. This one will go to Evan Kyle, fielded at the 15. He's got some room to run with it. It'll be brought down short of the 35. 2 seconds on the clock. Westford will get one play before the end of the quarter.
Yeah, I think the big thing we're seeing here with this return game, you're just trying to set up an open alley for the middle there. You're trying to clear it out. Give Kyle basically as simple of a running lane as possible. You don't have to read a hole or anything like that. Just catch the ball, run straight. We'll take it wherever you get.
Wilson will set his offense. I form back, both Moran brothers. And Wilson's going to pass this one. Pass is caught by Ryan Kyle, and still with room to run well past midfield to the 20.
Yeah, definitely a miscommunication there for Leominster. Somebody thought it was cover 2, somebody thought it was cover 3. It's exactly what we got right there. Left the fade, the clear out, whatever you want to call it in these play action flood concepts. Wide open, almost never are you really trying to hit that, but hey, if a defense is going to leave that for you, Wilson gets it out there. Ends up being a 45-yard pass play, and again, Westford just really playing with this Leominster defense like it's nothing.
Blue Devils defense not finding an answer for the explosiveness of Westford early. 10-6 your score after one quarter.
And that was just a matter of time before we really saw that play action. We knew it was going to come at some point. We saw there, like we mentioned earlier, Leominster finally packed the box. They had about 8 there. They had dropped their safety there. They have their 4-3. So we see 8 guys there, very close within 5 yards of that line of scrimmage in the tackles. And Westford makes them pay. One of their corners gets a little bit jumpy, tries to hit the flat route that's coming his way, forgets that he's got to pass off that clear out route there. That's going to be the thing. This communication has to get a little bit better, and these are the types of things that happen when you get a little more banged up than normal. These sort of chemistry things that you normally have with your starters, it gets a little bit more fuzzy than normal.
Blue Devils, as we said, still missing Juan Miranda, still dealing with a nagging hand injury, and that on both sides of the ball is a big loss.
And we'll see if he comes back, hopefully in the next couple weeks. He's obviously a key contributor on defense. We know he makes really great plays in zone coverage, great plays in man coverage. It's great when you have a guy like him. Just, again, talking about that chemistry that you have within this whole unit.
And the hands went out to Moran, and he's going to get stuffed.
And that's the best penetration we've seen from this defensive front all game. Being able to have multiple guys beat their guy on this offensive line, that's just what you like to see, and that's why we're seeing the 3-yard loss there. We got to get more of these situations where this defensive line really has to take over this game.
2nd and 13 is the offense will change some personnel.
Let's see here what Westford brings out. They're going to have the wing as well as back to his left.
And Wilson's going to keep this one himself, rolling out to his left. Pass caught and brought down hard.
Yeah, we have a penalty on the opposite side, so let's see what it is here. I was feeling that we had an illegal man downfield, though. That's what happens when you get these RPOs. Unfortunately, some of these guys, they are thinking run, ends up not being that case.
Quinn Reynolds was the receiver, senior captain.
Yeah, that one looked like it might have been John Wilson. Sophomore lineman there. Looked like he might have gotten a little bit too ahead of himself.
Both teams line up to wait for the call.
We'll see if they call it, though. Legal man downfield, so good bailout here. And we're seeing Osiris Lopez is now in at safety, something we haven't seen in a few games.
Blue Devils continuing to have to mix it up on defense, especially in that secondary.
Absolutely, and that, again, we've talked about Juan Miranda being out. He's one of those guys, when you miss a boundary corner, that entire secondary just completely flips on its head. The whole personnel changes.
2nd and 17. Wilson wanted to keep that one himself, and he's going to get brought down for a loss.
That's Antoine Lino Diego, folks. Great stuff there. Beats his guy. We see the QB draw there. Now Westford has a 3rd and long. But again, Lino Diego, just great job waiting. He knew it wasn't a pass play, so he didn't have to set his move too early. He was patient. Wilson ran right into him. Easy play.
A loss of 2 will set up a 3rd and 19 from the Blue Devils 30.
And now we're going to have to see them really pass the ball. They haven't Haven't loved this situation, but again, we saw them have that huge pass play, but now Leominster knows that it's coming.
19 yards, not much of an option. Wilson drops back. Pass quick is caught. And still going with it. It's Ryan Kyle's brought down. He's still going to be short.
Yeah, again, both of these sides have taken advantage of it a little bit. That time it was a post, but when you have soft coverage, because you know it's these 3rd and long situations, these corners, they back off a little bit more. It makes it really easy for these wide receivers to get inside positioning. Makes for a simple throw, and we're going to see right here what Westford does. I'm going to call a timeout and assess the situation again. Wouldn't be shocked if they bring out a kicking unit here. Would be about a 35-yarder like we saw last time. However, they elected to go for it on their last drive that they were in this situation.
Kyle is 2 for 2 on his kick attempts for the night. One was an extra point, and the other was a chip shot, pretty much from the 2.
Yeah, and he looked like he had some leg under it, so he seems like one of those guys. I wouldn't be shocked if he can hit it from here, but again, maybe that's not the situation. You don't want to put that much stress on a kicker here, but who knows? Maybe Westford, again, you're getting free chances because like you're playing with this opportunity that you've had because you have that extra possession than you should have. So Westford just trying to use that to their advantage. They're up a possession. Hey, let's really put our foot on the gas. Let's try to take advantage of this and try to put this game away early.
4th and 7. I don't see Kyle. They're going to keep the offense on the field. This from the Blue Devils 18. 4th and 7. Wilson drops back. Pass to Morin is quickly caught. And he's going to be brought out of bounds hard. And he's not going to have enough.
Yeah, that's a great job right there. Xavier Cora, and I'm trying to see who the other name was there. Looked like that was Jason Wilson, I think. It was, sorry, Octavian Cormier. It looks like 71, not 100% sure. Great play, though, by whoever that was coming from the defensive line. You see the running back swing route. That's so tough to get to, but again, great hustle from him. And Xavier Cora also coming in just to clean it out.
Not only gained 3, still another 4 yards to climb. Won't be enough, and Blue Devils get it from their own 15. Lopez reverses, and this is Reyes, and he's going to get forced out of bounds by about half the line.
Yeah, those looks like a little bit of a miscommunication there by some of these linemen, unfortunately. Looked like we might have missed a guy, but again, you're getting 5 yards on a counter run. It's not a bad position to be in. If you can be in 2nd and 5, that really opens up the playbook for what you have here. You don't have, like, basically, there's no holds barred at this point. You can chuck for a deep play. You can run it again to make it 3rd and really short. It's up to the creativity of an offensive coordinator here.
Still Reyes behind Lopez. Ricker in motion right to left.
He's trying to see if it's man or not. Trying to get a sense of the defense here, and it's zone.
Ricker sent back, and they're going to keep this one with Reyes punching through. Man, kind of caught a hand from behind there. Brought down, waiting for the spot.
It's going to be just short, unfortunately. But we'll see right here.
3rd and 1.
Probably going right back to the run here. As Westford crowds the line, and they're getting
they're going to get the yards.
5. Yep. That's the other thing Lopez is really good at doing. He's electric on those quick calls and just being able to get a defense to jump. Nothing like it.
Yet another great count from Lopez, and they're going to get the yards out of it. Moves them up to their own 29, 1st and 10. Clock ticking, under 9 minutes to go in the half. Plenty of time. This one for Reyes, cuts back through the middle. He gets a few yards on it. Little extracurriculars here on the near side.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, though. Sometimes these guys, they just want to get a little extra push in here. A lot of these wide receivers and DBs, they don't get to make contact as much, so hey, anytime you can, you want to get a little bit of an extra push just to say, hey, I'm a tough guy over here, too.
It was Ryan Kyle and the much smaller Ryan Ricker. Gain of 5, second and 5 now from the 34.
I think we're starting to see with Reyes, though, he's really a one-cut back, and that's so good.
And play action. Lopez still with it. Cuts back to his left, and he's going to keep this one himself. He's got a lot of room to go with it. Over to the 40, and now past the 30, past the 20. Gets a good block, and he's going to go all the way. And that is going to be 66 yards.
Yep. And first thing I want to point out, though, other than an amazing run from Lopez, that was one of the best blocks I've seen there. Xavier Cora puts a guy on his butt in pass pro. Having a running back like that, oh my God, just he's so physical, and just being able to alter the game as a blocker too. Can't say enough about Cora, honestly, but again, Lopez finds the open lane. Great stuff. Westford looked like they were running man, so again, they don't have anyone to really account for Lopez, and that's what you have to do. You have to have at least one guy, maybe two normally. Just a guy that's that dynamic, but again, great football right there from Leominster.
Taking advantage of the lack of a QB spy for 66 yards, Osiris Lopez on his feet. Dual threat quarterback.
Going for 2 here with the 2 back.
And they're going to go for 2. 12-10 currently the score.
And split backs with Reyes and Cora. We don't see this too often, but Westford calling a timeout because they also haven't seen this too often.
Westford not ready for that. 8 minutes to go in the half. 12-10. Blue Devils have flipped the scoreboard.
Yeah, this is a little interesting, to be honest here. Going for 2 when a PAT would put you up 3. Not a typical situation here, but hey, maybe Leominster knows something we don't.
It's still early enough in this game that I think you can take that risk now. You've shown that your offense is explosive enough to keep you in it.
Yeah, and I think too, probably just trying to chase the fact of, hey, we didn't get that PAT opportunity on the last drive, so that's really just trying to make up for it on this one. That could also be factoring into it, but let's see here. I'd like to see them come back with that split back formation here. This time, let's use Cora as a blocker again. Give Reyes the ball and just give him a chance to read the hole, make a cut. Only need 2 yards here.
Blue Devils, too, have also seen that Westford a little hesitant to go for field goals. They've gone for it on 4th down from a makeable distance already. Taking advantage of the fact that 2 points or 4 won't make a difference. They'd most likely be going for it. But coming back in the split back again, Reyes to the left, Cora to the right. As Ricker and Delgado to the right. Reyes in motion. Lopez keeps it himself, and he's going to get in on his feet.
Yeah. And that right there is eye candy at its finest. You have the flaring motion there from Reyes. You're trying to move these linebackers enough. Then you have the fake outside zone going the other way, just to create a wide open lane for Lopez to basically walk right in. He had to fight through a guy, but again, more often than not, it's going to take more than one person to tackle Lopez.
Lopez, even with one defender, wasn't challenged too much, and they make it look easy. 14-10 your score, 8 minutes to go second quarter. Blue Devils, for the first time tonight, find themselves on top.
Yeah, it was just great defense after the fact that you took advantage of Westford having a bad first down play on that last drive. Then we get the penalty to really set them back, and at that point, those are just drive killers at that point. If you're not going to take the field goal, it puts the defense in a little bit of a tough situation where, hey, we pretty much know what's going to happen there.
Stagnates their last drive. We'll see them again here. Kick is low, line drive. Fielded by Pastors. And he's broken through 1, and it'll take 2 to bring him down.
Yeah, great job right there. That was Zachary Oliver and also Ryan Fernandez there, making sure that they got good coverage, making sure that it was Pastors doesn't reach the outside completely. Great job by the kickoff team. But again, we've seen Westford's really trying to do one thing, and that's set up the middle, and if you find something open on the outside, then go ahead and hit it, but more often than not, they're trying to attack that middle of that kickoff unit.
And look to be going through the middle there again, but don't get as much on as they'd like. They're going to get this from their own 34. Wilson's going to keep this one himself out to the right. Nearly broke through, but one Blue Devil got to him.
Save your core, folks, making sure that he doesn't let anybody get past him. We're going to see that all game. We're going to say it all game. That's just what he brings to this defense. He's one of the toughest people you'll see wearing the black and blue. And again, he's going to do it on both sides of the ball as well.
Gain 3 on that would have been a lot more if he broke through Cora.
And 12 personnel here from Westford. So we have 2 tight ends there to that far side. Don't be shocked if they try to run it that way now.
And then we'll go to the near side instead. Wilson breaks through another tackle. And he's well across midfield.
Yeah, and I didn't account for the fact there that Leominster is heavily shifting to that side because there's the double tight end set up there. So if Westford sees that, I think we saw there that they made a quick play call change and went for their audible. Trust Wilson's legs to fight backside. That's what you do right there. Great play.
Works out for them, and it's a big gain to put them across midfield. First and 10. Find 19-yarder. First and 10 now from the Blue Devils' 44. Snap is low. Wilson's going to drop back to pass. He wants it all, and he's got it all. Ryan Kyle. And this one is turning into a back-and-forth offensive affair.
As it should right now. We're seeing it's a little bit tough when you put these corners in one-on-one situations, and Elijah Rivera right there. A lot of times you see with this Leominster defense, they don't want to get beat to the outside, so they have this positioning where, hey, we'll let you beat me to the inside because I have help there. That time, though, there wasn't a safety over top. Wilson takes advantage of it, and we're seeing now from Westford, they got the muddle huddle here, looking to see what numbers game they want to play.
And this will be Kyle again, responsible for the first 6 on this drive, looking to make it 7. Snap is good. Kick is also good. 17-14 the score now. This one back and forth.
Kyle's got a leg on him, so again, I think it's more hesitancy of really just making sure that you stay ahead of Leominster in this game. Maybe that's why they're not going for these field goals, but like we were talking about earlier. However, if you're going to score like this at will, pretty much, why not?
I think Westford knows this is going to be a very offensive game.
And it's shocking, too, because, I mean, we like to think Leominster is a solid defensive team. So just having these errors of leaving guys in one-on-one opportunities where I wouldn't say they're set up to fail, but it's really tough to succeed if you're in cover 3 fighting basically against a post right there with no inside help. You can't blame Rivera exactly. It's just Westford took advantage of a situation that, frankly, shouldn't have been there. You shouldn't be running cover 3 if your safety's not going to take care of that middle of the field and give Rivera a little bit of help just because we've seen other teams take advantage of that so far this season. We saw it with Doherty. We saw it at the Catholic Memorial. Westford is also seen that, and they've done it a couple times this game.
And this kick from Kyle comes from the left hash across to the right, and it's going to be a fair catch. Zach Oliver.
Yeah, great stuff. Make sure, again, I think that's the point that this special teams unit was finally waiting for. Let's just start with the ball. It doesn't have to be a return every time. Let's just make sure that we have the ball. We've already seen it this game. We saw it last game. Let's just make sure that our offense is out there for that next play.
Taking it one play at a time, and what we've been saying is going to be very offensive tonight. 6.5 to go in the first half. Blue Devils get the ball from their own 28. Cora out to the left. Looks to make some yards, and he's tripped up.
It was great blocking there from, I think it was Nate Hankins, making sure that he set the edge there for Cora to basically just have free reign to take an outside zone across the field. Great stuff, though.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Blue Devils already making good headway.
Westford bringing their safeties down, too, so don't be shocked to take a deep play.
Lopez rolls out to his right under some pressure. Needed to keep this one himself. He has the first down, and he's still going. Gets a good block from Delgado and comes down just short of midfield.
We're seeing that now. These skilled players, they're not afraid to lay the boom for their quarterback right now. We saw it with Cora earlier. Delgado, he's a big physical receiver. Why not just use that to your advantage? We're seeing that now where these guys are really embracing that aspect of the game of, hey, I don't have to get the ball and dominate you. I can also do it by putting my 2 hands on you and putting you in the dirt.
Just short of midfield, Blue Devils 47. Lopez has Cora behind him. And we'll go to Cora, and they were ready for that one. Almost stayed up on it, and they'll lose a yard. Westford was ready for that one the whole way.
Great play there by John Wilson. He beat Nate Hankins there, who's playing right tackle. Just great play by Wilson, though. He set the edge. He beats him early, walks right into Cora. That's where you get these negative plays sometimes. This line just, sometimes you put a little bit too much stress on them.
Round it to a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Same formation with Cora behind Lopez. He's going to put this one in the air. Big pass. He wants Ricker. Ricker's got it again. That's the second time today we've seen Ryan Ricker put one in the breadbasket like that. And that's nice and easy.
That was great stuff right there. That's why you have a receiver like Ryan Ricker. He is just so electric. I was waiting for them to use him these last couple games of really just being able to use the fact that he has so much speed and he is just so good at finding the open spot in the field. He didn't exactly get open there, but it's at the catch point there especially where he's able to get just a yard or like a couple inches really to just make it a wide open breadbasket catch right there. We see that. Great stuff.
We were looking for some Ricker out routes against Doherty especially, and we just weren't getting them. And finally tonight, we've seen 2 electric catches.
And they're both on these deep shots. That's how they used them in the first few games of the season. Until you hit that Doherty game where just the passing game in general. I don't think that's really on Ricker or Lopez. It was just as a whole. There was just something off that game. Last week, you went against a team that's just overall dominant, so I'm not shocked.
Leominster keeps the offense out. Lopez under a lot of pressure and put on the brakes. Still weaving, still throwing the catch. No one's there. No good.
You know, that's what we're talking about, though. It's stuff like that where we were just waiting for that evolution of the offense. We knew that they always had that deep shot ability with Delgado. And we saw it last year, too, with Ricker down the stretch, where they were really finally using him in that deep threat role, where now they have 2 receivers that can beat you deep. That always puts pressure on a defense. And we saw Westford, they're hedging their safeties up a little more than teams normally do. So, hey, let's punish them for it. We're going to capitalize off that. If you're going to give Ricker one-on-one, he's going to beat you more often than not.
Leominster has the arms for it, Lopez has the arms for it, and Ricker and several other Blue Devil receivers have the legs.
And the hands, too.
And the hands.
That was just a great catch. I mean, we've seen them try to do that. Some of these receivers just, it doesn't quite connect. Just, it's tough to get those, just to get that deep shot there.
The conversion was no good. 20-17 is the score. This kick from Rivera is high and straight. Fielded by Pastors, finds a hole, and he'll finally get brought down about the 37.
That was Seth Quartang making the tackle there, folks. Great job making sure that Pastors doesn't get past him. Good stuff on this kickoff team. Just optimally, you want to stop them a little earlier, but with the way this game's been going, usually that's about where they're getting it to every time. It's almost like routine now.
Somewhere in the mid-30s like this is usually where Leominster will put it down. And 4:48 to go in this half. Plenty of clock for Wilson and Westford to work with. Now hand this one off to Moran. Flips it back for Kyle. Kyle's going to get brought down hard at the 45.
Delgado coming there from that opposite safety, but we should have known something was up there. It looked like Westford was in a bunch trips. However, one of their receivers, he wasn't exactly pointed forward. He was pointed like inside. I think that's probably the signal that Leominster should have had, that something funky was up here. But again, nice little trick play that you're trying to pull out of the bag here. Set it up for a 2nd and short now.
Not enough for a first down. Blue Devils able to get to it. 2nd and 3. And they'll look for Moran again. Moran breaks through. Pushes to the Blue Devils logo, short of midfield.
Right at the first down line, but it's going to be probably a new set of chains here. And they're calling it.
We'll say it is. It was very close, but they give him the benefit of the doubt.
And Mika Powell there, he was able to set the edge on that far left side. It was just unfortunately didn't have any help on the inside, so that's where we get that first down from. But we need more of that on this defensive line. We just need one guy. He needs to set the edge, and we need one person on the inside, whether that be linebacker or one of these interior D linemen. They just got to beat their guy and make it tough for these running backs.
1st and 10. Wilson keeps this one himself across midfield to about the 46. Under 3.5 to go now.
And I think right now we're going to see this from Westford. They don't want Leominster to get that 2-for-1 opportunity that we mentioned earlier. So I think they're going to try to make this their last possession of the half. Actually, just last possession in general. Because, I mean, we've seen Lopez, he can make a play out of nothing on almost any play. So giving him 2 minutes it's not exactly a position you want to put your defense in.
A lot of time for Lopez. They'll shovel this one to Pastor. Pastor hurdles over 1. He's got the first down. Clock keeps running. 2:47.
And again, so that's going to count as a pass, but it's really just an extension of the run game. That's just a jet sweep, essentially. Most places are going to call that a jet touch pass. Westford's calling it. They're just trying to spread out this defense. They're seeing that these linebackers are a little bit more pressed in than normal. Let's take advantage of it.
Empty backfield. Cindy's going to pass this one. It's overthrown and intercepted by Ryan Ricker, who will immediately take it out of bounds.
And Westford right there, I mean, they saw last week that Ricker had trouble going against taller wide receivers. I mean, we saw that last week where he was going against a 6'2 receiver. It just seems like running those fades, it was usually putting him at a disadvantage just because he is a little bit of a shorter corner. But again, when you give him a chance to really track the ball, that's something that he does really well. If you give him that chance where the receiver's not going to be physical at all on him, that's going to be a pick almost 9 times out of 10. He's got great hands. If you put him in that position, that's why Leominster is able to make these takeaways.
We'll see a new set of downs. They'll put this one to Cora, who goes up the gut. And he won't get much out of it.
Aramis Reyes right there, great job just trying to read the gut, get a couple. They're just trying to ease this offense back into it here. Don't be shocked if you see a shot play pretty soon now. Or just Lopez keeps it on his own.
Blue Devils still have all 3 timeouts. And 2 minutes to work with. They'll put this one in the air. Lopez scrambles. Steps out to the right, pass caught by Ricker, turns, and he's got some room to run with it.
Good
And he steps out of bounds. I was worried he might have.
If he doesn't step out of bounds there too, that's just one of those plays you wish you could have back almost. He just kept a little bit of awareness there, but again, he's just got to know where he is on the field. If not, we might be talking about 6 on the board right now for Leominster.
Certainly caught it very close, and it was a little after where he turned. What a great catch from him. Able to quickly turn his body and start getting more yards.
And that's tough, too, for Westford. I mean, you give Lopez that much time, someone's bound to get open. One of these receivers is going to find the area where Lopez wants to throw it to.
Lopez, once Reyes caught.
Yeah,
Excuse me, that is Delgado.
Yeah, great job by Delgado. Gets to the first down line, gets out of bounds, stop the clock. That's what you're trying to do right here. You're trying to get as many plays in as you possibly can to see, hey, maybe we can put 6 on the board. Let's try to go for a true 2-for-1. Let's get 2 touchdowns before Westford can get the ball back again.
Will make this a very different game. Blue Devils get the ball to start the second half.
And we saw it too. I mean, Zachary Oliver had a slant wide open across the middle, but go to Delgado just to get out of bounds.
Minute and a half left in the half. Lopez scrambles. He's got a body on him, and he'll throw that one away.
Had Reyes on the wheel, just wasn't able to step into it and get his full arm into it. Reyes, that's such a tough thing to do. You can't just plant your foot on a dime and cut back to the ball like that so effortlessly all the time. Lopez just a little bit of a tough pocket there, tried to climb in, whatnot.
2nd and 10. Just across midfield at the 48 of Westford. Clock stopped at 1:21. Lopez still has Reyes. Drops back. Pass to Reyes is incomplete.
It was just a little bit out of reach right there for Aramis. Lopez, I mean, that's one of the easiest throws you're going to have there. You just got to put it on the money for him. Give him, he's not usually a receiver, so you got to put it in his chest. That's what you have to do with these running backs. Not everyone has Odell-like hands where you can just take that out of air with one hand. And we see that now pretty routinely with guys, but I mean, we saw it last week especially with Delgado having that end zone grab. Not everyone's Jadis Delgado. You gotta put it right between the numbers for these guys, especially as they're working out. Give them a chance to run after catching it.
Lopez turned a little too quickly there, perhaps. 3rd and 10. They're gonna put this one with Reyes. Not much on it.
No, they're just trying to take off some time. We'll see if they do that sort of trick punt that they had last week with Lopez, where they're just going to try and take a little bit of clock off here and make sure that Westford doesn't have any time to work with on his final play here. But let's
4th and 7, 50 seconds and counting.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that Westford doesn't at least try to call a timeout here, put a little more pressure on Leominster to either go for it here or really just send out their punt unit. But I wouldn't be shocked here. Leominster's probably going to call a timeout, think about it for a sec, see if they can either put together their best play call or their best punt.
And there comes the timeout from Leominster. 30 seconds exact to go. Looming a 4th and 7 from the Westford 45 and a 3-point lead. And this Blue Devils team looking much different from last week, seeing things click a lot more.
For sure, and I think that also comes too where you're not going against a team you're not going against one of the best football programs we've seen in Massachusetts with Catholic Memorial. I mean, they haven't always had success, but we saw with DiBiaso, we saw his success in Everett, carried it over to Catholic Memorial, didn't skip a beat really. I mean, they've always been in that contention for being one of the top 3 teams in the state. They're almost always at least in the run for making the deep playoff run that we're talking about here. But again, now we see Leominster against competition that they're going to see more often in Division I. They're going to be playing against Westfords. They're going to be playing against these teams that they see a lot more often. They're going to see Wachusett. They're going to see teams like Shepherd Hill and whatnot. But again, we're going to see here especially, I think Leominster, they're probably going to try and use Osiris's hard count to their advantage. Let's see if we can make this 4th and 2, we're definitely going for it. 4th and 7 though, if they don't jump, Osiris, maybe take a step back and just punt it yourself. We know you're good at it. Let's just see what they go with here.
And here comes a 4th and 7. Lopez.
Quick flinch too. Almost had him.
Going for the hard count as Reyes to his left. Steps back, quick pass, caught. Delgado has the first down. Can't get out of bounds, but Blue Devils still have a timeout, and they'll take it right away.
I was a little tough from Delgado there. Optimally, you'd like to get out of bounds, but hey, again, you won't complain with a first down. And he's gonna go for a jump ball here.
And steps
You're gonna
back,
get a hold
flag
in
on the
here.
play. And throws that one away. He knows a flag is coming.
Yep, so it's going to be 10 yards further back. Let's see here, though. I would like to see them try that Delgado sit in the soft spot of the zone. Try to do that about the 20-yard line, though. Just get the first down, or try to get a first down here. Let Delgado sit, and then you have a real chance of doing an end zone strike. We've seen before last year. I don't remember exactly what game it was, but we saw with Leominster, they got to this point, threw it up to Jaden Jenkins in that far left corner there. Leominster has experience in these situations.
13 seconds to work with.
But again,
Facing a 1st and 20.
10 yards further back. That's the tough part here. And Westford's been in this cover 2 shell that they try to dig a little bit deeper here with their corners. So it's almost like a cover 4 hybrid. So let's just see. They're probably going to go to Delgado here or Ricker on a deep out route.
Those would certainly be the two to watch.
And why else would you put them on the same side of the field?
Lopez forced out to his left. He's going to have to keep this one himself, racing to get out of bounds, and he will with 6 seconds left. Gets a good gain out of it.
Now, this is where it's tough. You know your quarterback has the arm for it. Now it's just a matter of, all right, do we go for Delgado, try to isolate him? Do we try and give Ryan Ricker a chance? Like, what exactly are you doing here for this last chance of putting points on the board? I mean, 6 points, you sure won't complain if you get that, but it's really just a matter of what's going to be the best way you can set up your offense for scoring here.
Blue Devils will burn the final timeout. It's going to be on the 31 of Westford. A lot of room to work with, but we've seen bigger plays from Leominster tonight.
I mean, ideally, I wouldn't be shocked here. Maybe you try a quick out route here just to see if you can get to the 20 even. Hit Ryan Ricker on, put Ryan Ricker and Delgado on the same side. Delgado just runs a clear out. Hit Ryan Ricker on like a quick 10-yard out. Hopefully it doesn't take longer than 6 seconds. And especially if you throw it to that far side where you're close to the boundary, try to get it just a little bit closer so that way this defense is a little more stressed here. Because you don't have any more timeouts. That's the problem.
6 seconds if you execute quick enough. Could be time for 2 plays if you can get right out of bounds.
And I mean, ideally, if you didn't use the timeout, I mean, you could have hit someone on a quick slant even, where that middle of the field is just nice and wide open. But let's see right here. I'm intrigued if they try to just go for a shot here. I mean, Lopez obviously can also use his legs. We saw that last year against Wachusett with the first half walk-off. But again, Westford sending 3 deep there. They're making sure that they don't get that end zone shot. Again, they're putting trips on one side and Delgado's going to be isolated on the other side. So they're probably going to be going jump ball to Delgado here just as a numbers game, and that's going to be your best chance at a 50-50 ball.
Jump balls might be Delgado's bread and butter, and he's going straight for the end zone. Lopez pressured, gets a great block, looking for a second, won't get it. A lot of pressure on him, he throws it, and that's going to come well short. And Wilson couldn't get to it, was looking for the interception.
Not the protection you were looking for in that type of situation. Westford only sends 3, so you're hoping that your 5 guys can cover that. But again, Westford takes advantage, and that's it for the half there. Great explosive plays we're seeing from both sides.
Your score at the half in a back and forth affair. Blue Devils 20, Westford Academy, Grey Ghost 17. Blue Devils get the ball to start the second half, but don't go anywhere. Blue Devils marching band coming right up.
Solutions of Leominster, Gardner Outlet Furniture of Leominster and Gardner, Dragonfly Driving School, Leominster. Marigal Medical and Dr. Timothy Gallagher, Leominster. Applebee's Restaurant of Leominster.
MIA's no smoking policy is strictly enforced here at Doyle Field, so please, no smoking or vaping. Restrooms are conveniently located at each end zone. Fans are reminded entering the playing field at any time is not permitted. Cooperation is appreciated. Concession stand open on the home side of the field. Food and beverages. Be sure to get your 50-50 raffle tickets for today's drawing. That will be announced shortly. 50% goes to a music student scholarship. Please use trash receptacles for trash you make or see. Keep the stadium beautiful. Please be advised that Doyle Field uses lighting effects at sporting events.
The half is sponsored by Domination Plumbing and Heating. We are your HVAC contractor expert plumbers. We're awarded the best plumber in Leominster and Fitchburg for 2024. Call Domination Plumbing and Heating for a free quote. 978-705-7771.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, we proudly present the Leominster Marching Blue Devils. They'll be playing a sample of their 2025 field show tonight, featuring the music of Snarky Puppy, Saint Songs, and Metallica. Please put your hands together for Ghost Investigation from the Leominster Marching Blue Devils. Some marching in the Blue Devils, ladies and gentlemen.
The half is sponsored by Domination Plumbing and Heating. We are your HVAC contractor expert plumbers. We're awarded the best plumber in Leominster and Fitchburg for 2024. Call Domination Plumbing and Heating for a free quote. 978-705-7771.
And welcome back to Doyle Field in Leominster. Second half just about to get underway. 20-17, Blue Devils leading the Westford Academy Grey Ghosts in a back and forth offensive affair.
No defense here tonight, folks. And most people wouldn't be complaining about that. However, if you're Leominster, you like to put a lot of pride in your defense, typically. Just haven't seen it tonight. But again, Leominster, you've only had 4 possessions. You've scored on 3 of them. The only one you don't score on is what we saw in that last minute and a half, 2 minutes. And you really just ran out of time. It wasn't that you couldn't have scored. And we see with Westford, you have 5 possessions, 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal, and then 2 drives of just not being able to convert on 4th down. So I think just these defenses, they just need to settle in a little bit more, let the game slow down. A lot of these guys go both ways on offense and defense. So let's see how it goes. But again, a nice little show here from the lights. Definitely loving it.
You definitely have to believe in the locker rooms. Both teams talking probably quite a lot about defense.
You have to. I mean, it's probably the first thing that's coming to mind if you're Devin Gates, and probably the same thing if you're Westford, but if you're Bruce Rich, but we'll see.
Both teams seeing a lot of good on offense. Really only the one turnover either team would want back was the interception caught by Ryan Ricker. That set up that drive-ending half that went nowhere for Leominster, so no harm, no foul.
Exactly, and that's one of those plays too where, hey, we're trusting, we wanted to try and take advantage of the height difference between Ricker and Ryan Kyle there. We wanted to give our guy a chance, just unfortunately Wilson put a little bit too much air on it, so Ricker was able to track it down, and that's how you're able to take advantage of almost putting points on the board for that last drive there. But let's see what happens here. Leominster now, wouldn't be shocked if Westford tries to do one of those sort of short kicks, one of the mortar kicks there. But we'll see here. It really just all depends on what this return team gives them.
Ricker on the near side, Parisi on the far side for Leominster. Ryan Kyle, the kicker. We saw him force 1 turnover tonight. And they're going to try the same play again. Fair catch.
I think they've just beat it to a pulp now to this special teams unit after that last one, or I guess the first one to start the game, where now you've basically told your team, you know what, from now on you guys are further back and I want to hear me call, or from the returner or that second line. Somebody's calling it. Whoever does, that's the person getting it. We don't want any more of these miscommunications where we are leaving points on the board and giving the opposing teams a chance to really run away with it here.
They're putting Zachary Oliver in that position. It's the second time tonight he's caught a fair catch.
Absolutely, and that's so big too, just making sure that you just have the ball.
This is Cora to get us going in the half, and he's going to run into a wall.
A little shocking there. I mean, Leominster had trips to this near side. Westford really only had 2 guys to defend against it, and you have a safety that's a little bit shaded over, not too much with Alex Wilson. I would kind of love to see if Leominster can go back to that and, hey, let's actually call a pass play here. I mean, if they're only going to put 2.5 guys over R3, let's test them.
We're seeing that same look again. Trips on the near side. And this one they're going to put in the air, or at least try to. Lopez dodging and weaving. He's going to keep this one himself. Room to run. He gets a big block across the 50. Delgado helps him out again, and he'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, Lopez, I think at that point, he's probably just thinking in his mind, you know what? I'm just going to let my guys do the work for me here. Let Cora set a huge impact block there. Delgado also setting a big block there. Antoine Lino Diego. All these guys just getting out after I get out of the pocket. Just let them do the work for me. I'll just basically walk for a first down.
It's not the first time we're calling it tonight, but that is the biggest change we've seen week over week from last week to this week has been the block support, especially
when the play
Lopez
breaks
keeping
down,
the ball.
for sure.
Lopez rolls to his left, pass up the middle, caught. And still going with it, and he's going to be stood up. And that's Delgado.
He has become so huge in just the fact that, all right, we now have a guy that no matter what, we can throw the ball to him, and we don't have to worry about the fact of maybe it hits his hands and he doesn't catch it. Delgado has some of the most sure hands you're going to see on this team, him and Ricker. But again, Delgado, he just has that extra size advantage that you don't see out of Ricker. So that's where you see that extra confidence in him. But just having a guy like that where you can just throw the ball to him and you almost are sure it's going to come down with it.
2nd and 1. Cora up the right side. And they were attacking the ball in his hand, but they can't get to it. First down, Leominster.
They're really trying to attack this outside zone here with Cora. Give him a chance to either bounce it outside or just hit a cut and find an open lane and maybe walk in for a touchdown. That's what we're seeing right now with this run game over the past few drives even. And it's kind of what you expect out of Pistol.
New set of downs from the Westford 38. Dropping back is Lopez, swinging out to his left, fakes the pass, he needed to keep it himself, and got a lot of room to run here. Goes out of bounds for a first down and a little bit more.
And again, if you're Westford, you got to have someone that at least stays to spy Lopez. You can't just let him have 4 guys send in pressure and then expect one of them to get home. He's going to make one of those guys miss just because that's how elusive he is. And just, I don't know, it's kind of shocking to me that you just haven't either sent more pressure or just keeping one guy in to just keep an eye on him.
It is surprising that really no one this season has played a QB spy against him. This is a big pass. He wants Ricker in the end zone. Off the back of a defender. That's Cooper Durgan, the senior. Incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, hey, why not give a chance on Ricker? That's probably going to be one of the few times this season where he isn't completely outmatched on size. So let's give him a chance. We know he's good at those 50-50 balls for someone of his caliber. I mean, he's really a do-it-all type of receiver. But you give him that slot fade where he doesn't have any help from a safety. You're lined up against a slot corner. Why not shoot for that?
Ricker in motion, right to left.
Now you got one-on-one with Delgado.
They're going to hand this one to Cora, dodging and weaving. Get a few yards out of it. Sets up a third down.
Westford's got a lot more respect for Leominster's run game than I anticipated. I'm shocked that at this point you haven't dropped more guys into coverage and played it a little softer just because Leominster hasn't truly beat you in the run game yet, but I think that's also because you're crowding the box. You've got at minimum 7 guys in there. Sometimes you're sending in your strong safety. I mean, Alex Wilson is almost always staying inside and at least within 8 yards of where the ball is.
Lopez keeps this one himself. Looking to go up the middle, and he's still going. Finally brought down.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a first down there.
We are.
Again, that's the advantage to having a guy like Osiris Lopez where you have 2 backs in the backfield, even though you really only have 1 running back, and you can use the run game to the advantage there. Westford's not anticipating it because you have 4 receivers out wide, or you have 3 receivers and a tight end that's pushed out a little bit. You don't always expect the run there.
Lopez drops back, rolls out to his right. Pass to the end zone to Ricker, caught in the back corner. Ryan Ricker making it look easy for his third of the night.
That was just so easy. Just the fact that Delgado slips. He's probably the main read there on that quick out route. But again, Ricker pushes inside and then loops around behind, trailing along that back end zone line. What are you supposed to do on that if you're a defense? I mean, you're expecting inside help, and the fact that you go inside, even though you have the inside help as a slot corner, Ricker sees that. That's just free money at that point. Walk in at the back corner, 6 points on the board.
Blue Devils once again going for 2, split back. Reyes on the left, Cora on the right. Lopez drops back. He wanted Cora. He's going to go to Reyes instead. Outside the body, laying out for it. And it's good. What a catch.
Yeah.
Aramis Reyes.
I mean, I might have been talking earlier about the fact that, hey, sometimes these running backs, they don't have the best hands, but, hey, Reyes making me pay there, making me eat my words. Great catch right there, out of body, making sure that you catch that, don't let it hit the ground. Close it with your hands. That's a great stuff right there. And we've seen now Ryan Ricker is definitely been the game changer for this offense. I mean, 3 touchdowns for him. Of your 4, why not just keep feeding him the ball? I mean, Westford hasn't really given him more attention than, hey, we're just going to put one-on-one in the slot on you and we'll see if you beat us. But, hey, Ryan Ricker's beating him every time. I'm shocked that they haven't put extra attention his way.
We've been calling all season that we were waiting for the breakout from Ryan Ricker. We saw it at the end of last year.
It came for sure. I mean, I don't know how many yards he has, but he's definitely, even despite one really bad game, it feels like at least averaging like 100 yards a game. It almost feels like clockwork at this point.
Great look for him. We're seeing Blue Devils kick it off. This one will find the second line. And looking to punch it through. That was Moran, I believe. And that'll get spotted about the 40. I believe Declan Hervey.
Or it was Carter Hess. We're not exactly sure. They have 2 20s on their roster.
In any case, 8:36 to go in the third quarter. 28-17. Westford staring down a deficit.
I think right now, if you're Westford, just call your best play right now.
11 points, the largest lead either team have had tonight. And Moran slipping through, going right to left, and he's broken out. A lot of room to run. Ricker's going to be the last one to beat, and he'll force him out of bounds.
I mean, hey, he's cramping up, though, unfortunately. I mean, hey, you expect that after he just broke through at least 4 tackles there. Bounced it out to the outside. Not too shocked. And it's a 30-yard pickup there. Great stuff by Moran.
30 yards from Moran, paying the price. And that'll flip the field. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils, 27 now.
Man, that was probably, we don't see sloppy tackling often from these linebackers, but that was definitely the case of it there.
Swept out to the right and still going with it was Benjamin Chen, the junior.
Man, great stuff by him. Tough running. He just makes a nice cut, lets the linebacker meet him, puts his shoulder down. Just great football right there from Chen.
Moran injury, seeing some changing in personnel now. Little musical chairs.
It looks like they're sending in a few more wide receivers, so we're going to see a little bit more of a spread look here from Westford.
2nd and 3 is the task. Now inside the red zone at the 20. Hard count. Blue Devils aren't biting.
And I think you just got to make sure you get somebody to get home on Wilson right now and call a timeout. They don't like the look of it.
Blue Devils forcing Westford into the first timeout. 11 points, the largest deficit of the game so far.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they were looking at something, either a QB option there, just something we were getting Wilson going on that left side. Looked like Leominster had a few more guys than what Westford had to protect, even if you're calling a pass play. Just didn't like the look of it. Hey, why not just call a timeout? You got 3 of them, and they don't carry over at this point.
It'll be a decision to keep in mind, though, that early timeout. If this game is close at the end, it could be something to remember.
It could, but hey, we'll see. Not everyone's a fortune teller like you.
Only time will tell. 2nd and 3 from the Blue Devils 20.
Now, for folks that don't know, Cody might have a magic orb that he's just rubbing right now, knowing what's going to come next.
Wilson, quick pass to the end zone. Intercepted by Ryan Ricker. Second of the night, and they're going to wrestle for the ball. I think they might have been a 50-50.
They called the touchback already, but again, they were trying to get Evan Pastors at least a one-on-one opportunity to give him a stop and go. Ryan Ricker read it like a book, had perfect possession right there, and positioned himself exactly where he needed to be. He was going for more of a back shoulder throw, and Ryan Ricker makes him pay. I mean, 3 touchdowns on offense, 2 picks on defense. Who's changing the game like this?
Ricker was getting bullied last week, and I believe he took that personally.
Oh, I mean, why wouldn't you? Also, Westford hasn't truly tested him with a super tall wide receiver, so, hey, he's usually pretty good in those types of matchups. It's always tough, though, going against 6'4" wide receivers, so you can't complain too much.
Small and athletic, and this one, they're going to keep it on the ground. Cora fights for every inch, and he got some good yards on it.
Yeah, it was really solid. I mean, you can almost always depend on Cora to at least make the right read in terms of just finding the hole to get to. And it looked like that was Javian Rivera there. He was able to clean out Cora from making sure that he got any extra yardage there after contact. But again, that's just tough physical running. I mean, he's always making at least one guy miss. It's just a matter of, hey, can we make 2 guys miss and hopefully give him a little bit more of a running lane.
Cora picks up 3, 2nd and 7. Cora again finds a hole and still going with it, swiping at the ball, but they won't get it.
Yeah.
First down and quite a lot more.
That's exactly what you're looking for. It looks like Cora, though, fighting something there. So, hey, let's just get Reyes in here. He's just as capable of a running back.
One of the good things about this scheme is Blue Devils have 2 good backs, and we're going to see Reyes here. He punches through and nearly gets it to midfield. That almost looked like a nothing play at first.
And that's what they've been trying. Like, we've talked to Devin Gates before. They've been trying to get more of a 50-50 split between Reyes and Cora, just to keep Cora healthier on defense, really. It's about time it's finally been used, though.
Reyes again, and they were ready for him that time.
Hey, they might have been ready, but they still let up a first down there.
Gets just across midfield, and that's all they needed.
Reyes is just such a punisher as a back. You might hit him, but he's going to hit you too. Constantly, he'll fight for an extra yard. He has a wrestling background, so that's where he gets like those tough legs, and he's just able to churn out a few more than what he normally should. That's what you like to see. I mean, especially if you're going to continue to run inside zone with him, why not?
Clock ticking halfway through the 3rd quarter. Just across midfield to the Blue Devils. And they'll give it to Reyes again. He finds a hole up the middle, and he's got a lot of room to go with it. Another first down to the 35.
And again, he's just so good at being able to finally find that hole. You've found something that worked now. Give Cora a break. I mean, more often than not, he's doing double duty on offense and defense, and he's being asked to do a lot on both sides of the field. Just put Reyes in. I mean, he's just as capable. I'm glad they're using him.
Reyes again, this time out to the left. He's still on his feet. 2nd and 3rd tackles are the ones to bring him down.
That was a great block out there by the left tackle. That looked like it was Carter Austin. He was able to just stand up his guy, move him enough, made it real easy for Reyes to just find the hole on the outside, pick up the first down. You can't ask for much more right now. This front 5 is really picking it up, and they found something that's working.
Ground and pound from the Blue Devils. It's been Reyes this drive. They're going to do it again, this time out to the left.
Yeah, they get bailed out, or not bailed out. They took advantage of the fact that Westford had 12 guys on the field, though.
And it's a free play. We'll pick up a few yards on it.
And now they're getting the correct personnel out there, but again, it's going to be a free 5 for Leominster here, so 1st and 5 now. Opens up the playbook.
1st and 5. That puts you at the 20 as well, and now to the red zone. Blue Devils making it look pretty easy on this drive.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you can't make these mental mistakes right now. You're fighting an 11-point deficit right now, but hey,
11 points lead for the Blue Devils. Chance to make it more. First and 5 from Westford 20. Solomon and Ricker here on the near side. Lopez steps up, rolls to his right, going to keep this one himself, and he slips through one and through a second, forced out of bounds, short of the goal line.
And him against the linebacker, that's just, you're asking too much out of that guy right now. You can't put him in these one-on-one situations against Lopez. He's going to make you miss every single time. The fact that most of these teams haven't really picked up on that, it's kind of shocking to me. Like, how come at some point none of these teams decided, you know what, all right, we might send 3 guys, but hey, let's just put 2 of our linebackers. They're going either side. We're going to bracket Lopez within the pocket where he's uncomfortable.
First and goal from the 6. Reyes to the left. And I believe he's going to be just short.
Yeah, tried to get that extra effort of reaching out. Not quite there, but again, it's second and goal. You got 3 more opportunities to pound this one in.
Plenty of time for this. Second goal, pretty much from the goal line now. Lopez, quick pass, caught in the end zone. And who else but Ryan Ricker,
Uno,
number 4.
Dos, Tres, Cuatro, folks. 4 touchdowns. Hey, if you're just going to keep leaving them one-on-one, Westford, you're going to remember Ryan Ricker's name tonight.
Ricker's saying, if you're not going to cover me, I'm just going to keep burning you.
Hey, why not? Hey, if you're going to leave me one-on-one with a slot corner every single time and have no help anywhere else, I'm going to show you why I'm one of the better receivers in this division. He's showing it. Ricker and Delgado, they've been one of the best dynamic duo receivers we're going to see.
Lopez going to keep this one himself. Left to right cutting and makes it look easy.
This has just become a little bit deflating. We're seeing it here from the Westford side especially, but again, this game is just starting to get out of hand.
36-17, Blue Devils have blown this one wide open in the third quarter.
Yeah, 3 scores now, but we'll see.
We're looking for Blue Devils to get that back-to-back score into the second quarter, start of the half.
That's exactly
Came a little late, but got it nonetheless.
Did pretty much exactly that. I mean, you might not have done it on end of first half, the beginning of second half, but you certainly did it beginning of second half on back-to-back possessions. You were able to let Westford drive down the field, but hey, costly mistake of testing Ryan Ricker on clearly his night. No, he will not be stopped. He's catching the football both on offense and defense.
Ricker bookended that drive, the interception and the touchdown. Second and fourth, respectively, of the game for him. And this is a line drive kick. Fielded by Pastor at the 10, cutting across now. He's at the 30, still going at the 40 to 45, across midfield and finally brought down.
Elijah Rivera, great job. That's why it's really nice to have a guy that plays in the secondary at your kicker, because again, he has the range to really get there, and then not only that, he has the ability to really tackle. Just great stuff to see right there.
Across midfield, a good starting position for the Gray Ghosts. 3.5 to go, third quarter.
And again, we're seeing a lot of guys down here on this Westford sideline, so
19 points the deficit.
yeah, it's not exactly over.
And just about everyone jumped. False start, everyone but the center.
I actually just realized now, I thought that said 38-17. 36, okay,
36.
so 19. You know what? So if I said 21 earlier, sorry folks, I thought I saw 38. My eyes clearly aren't working. Maybe I need to get some new glasses or something, I don't know. But again, penalties right now, killing Westford. It's been drive stopper almost every time. We've seen them have these penalties on 1st and 10, and they just haven't been able to claw their way back into it.
Another mental mistake. This one starts the drive after a great return. And Wilson out to his left, cuts back middle. He's found a gap and he's still going, still on his feet. To the 42.
Just a great job fighting through contact by Wilson. I mean, hey, you might be down by 19, but hey, you're not going to stray away from your identity. We're a run-first team. We might be down, but that doesn't mean we're going to all of a sudden shift to the pass. Sometimes that's what happens. You still have a dynamic quarterback in Wilson. It's just, unfortunately, a couple throws didn't go his way that you wish you could have back.
We've seen a fourth quarter comeback from Leominster already this year.
Yeah, we wouldn't be shocked if we see it from Westford either. Game's not over.
Down, but certainly not out, getting a first down on a run.
It was a similar deficit that Leominster fought. I mean, it might not have been 19, but it was 15 against Milford. So again, sometimes, sometimes the defenses, they let a little bit off the pedal. Maybe Westford, you can take advantage of it. I mean, you've had a few really effective plays so far. Just keep pushing that right now.
And shovel pass. It's going to be stopped well short of the line. Quite the loss.
Nate Hankins, but we're getting a scrum on the other side. Some of these guys are getting frustrated. Helmets coming off. That's just what's going to happen. These offensive linemen and defensive linemen, they've been going head-to-head all night. So we're going to see probably penalties on both sides. Both of these guys are going to take a break here. But again, Nate Hankins, I don't want to take away. That was just a great play by him. Basically took matters into his own hands, strong-armed his offensive tackle that was against him, and just running back happened to run into him and had made the full tackle, full play by him. Great stuff. That's the type of stuff that you want to see from these guys, just being able to set penetration and also following through on the tackle.
Offsetting personal fouls for the extracurriculars.
And the other thing to keep an eye on too, I mean, I know there's not much time left in this game, but usually if you get a second one of those, they try to keep track of the numbers. Second one usually kicks you out. Not entirely showing how the Federation rules do it.
Nonetheless, something to keep an eye on.
And they are.
If this game does continue to devolve.
They are keeping track of the numbers there. Yep. So again, it's one more and you're out type of situation here. So it looked like it was Jason Wilson and also Christopher Chason.
1st and 10. The Blue Devils 39 for Westford. 2.5 to go, third quarter. Down, but this one is most certainly not over.
No, definitely not. All it takes is one play. And
All it takes is one momentum shift.
Exactly, and Westford's so capable of being able to rip off one of these runs. I mean, we've seen it a few times even in this game. And Leominster, they have lapses sometimes where they give up these 40-plus yard runs, and all it takes is 39 yards here from Westford.
Whether it's Wilson or Jameson Moran, who's in motion right to left. And it'll be Wilson cutting back left. And he'll get back to the original line.
And it just didn't look exactly clean right there. It made Wilson's job a little bit harder than normal. Had to fight his way in the pocket just to get back to the line of scrimmage. And you don't love to see that on these plays, but again, still only second down, and it's not like you lost yards there.
2nd and 9. Did actually gain a little bit.
And 12 personnel.
And sweeping left is Wilson. Finds a hole up the middle. Runs into Moran. And brought down short of the line.
Hey, right now, you just got to make sure that your corners right now don't let anything get outside of you, and you make the tackle no matter what on every single play from here on out. You don't want to let Westford break off one of these runs and make it an easy two-possession game now. That's not exactly what you're looking for.
Clock ticking, under a minute to go. Wilson drops back. Big pass to the end zone is overthrown.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to attack the deep middle there. He might have had Ryan Kyle in a one-on-one again. I think he just doesn't want to throw it Ryan Ricker's way anymore for the rest of this night. Wouldn't be shocked if, why don't you just put your best receivers away from Ryan Ricker at this point and try to give them some shot plays here.
Quinn Reynolds, the intended receiver. Incomplete, sets up a 4th and 2.
It was just a tight end leak play right there. They were just sending 3 guys vertical, whoever won or whoever had best positioning. Thought it was their tight end there, just wasn't able to connect, unfortunately.
Only the 3rd quarter, but not really much of an option. Do kind of have to go for this, and he's not going to get there.
Oh, he's just going to be just shy, but again, it's going to be 4th and short. You have the personnel for this. Wilson's looking a little banged up, getting up.
So the clock before the scoreboard before that play showed that it was 4th down.
Yeah, it showed it was 4th down, but for some reason, whoever's holding up the down marker, he had 3. I think unfortunately Westford, they were looking at the down marker rather than counting the fact that, hey, we just had 3 plays there. Wilson might have thought that, hey, maybe I had an extra play, but at the end of the day, turnover on downs, that might be the one that takes the cake there.
Again, we talk about mental mistakes, and that's another one for Westford. Ahead in the game, always need to know what down it is, just like outs in baseball, but nonetheless, Blue Devils get the ball back. There's Cora back from injury, always good to see, and he's going to be stood up at the line.
Yeah, they're just going to run the ball here. I mean, they're only going to pass the ball. They absolutely need to. They're just going to try to take the clock out here.
32 seconds and ticking. In the 3rd quarter, Cora runs it for no gain.
Situations like these, this is where you really need to make sure that you have that split backfield between Reyes and Cora. It's not exactly ideal if you have Cora in for the rest of this game, just because he's been prone to take a couple more hits than he needs to in a game. You're going to need him for the rest of your season, so just try to ease him up a little bit here. Reyes has been really good. I mean, we saw on that last drive, he basically marched them down the field, and then all of a sudden it was Ryan Ricker that was able to connect in the end zone there. But now we're going to see field switch. So we're going to go to the opposite 30-yard line here, and as both sides just take a minute to really just ease into it. Let's just get some successful, effective football going on.
End of the 3rd quarter, 36-17, Blue Devils leading Westford Academy Gray Ghosts. This one getting out of hand quickly. Much like last week, but this time if you're Leominster, you're on the right side of it.
Exactly. I mean, that's what you were looking for in this game. You were just trying to get an opportunity where, hey, we didn't want to go into our bye week dropping 2 straight. We wanted to make sure that, hey, go into this on a high. Everybody gets to give their body a break here. Let's rest up, recover a little bit here on this next upcoming week, and then finish off the slate of games that we have here.
3 games left for the Blue Devils after this. Bye week next week, and then it's Wachusett Midlands Division A matchups. Algonquin, Shrewsbury, and Wachusett. Lopez, play action. It's going to get batted out of the air. I think that was Connor Knotter, if I'm not mistaken. It's up 3rd and 10. Blue Devils stalling out. Not something we've said much tonight.
No, not exactly. But hey, sometimes that happens when it's late in this game. You don't have as much focus and attention as this game goes on. So let's see here what they call on 3rd and 10. Might just call a run play just to keep this clock moving.
Wouldn't surprise me. They're going to pass it. Lopez wants it all. He wants Ricker again. Ricker. Ooh, in and out of the hands.
I don't even think that was in the hands. I think just Ricker mistracked it here. Uh-oh. Not exactly what you like to see either. Limping a little bit. And it's going to be 4th and 10 now, so hey, let's just get the punt unit out.
And Blue Devils waiting to see what the play is. Haven't seen a lot of personnel changes.
No, but again, you got to remember their punter is Elijah Rivera, which he sometimes is in at wide receiver, but it seems like right now that Ricker's out, they're going to have a little bit of a change for that slot, so that ends up becoming Owen Parlin now.
Parlin's been splitting receiving duties.
Lopez can't punt, so.
Lopez punts it. This one lands at about the 35. Blue Devils get a very good roll out of it. Now freeze it about the 21. Great punt from Lopez.
And that's what he did all of last year, too. I mean, every once in a while, when Jaden Jenkins was hurt last year, Osiris Lopez was their punter, and that was where, hey, there was times where the punting game wasn't working. You would only get like 10 yards a pop. Then they made that switch to Lopez where you started seeing the field flipped a lot more often. That's what happened there. And then now you can do a lot more of these sort of sneaky punts here where, hey, we're going to catch the defense without a returner. Lopez just drops a couple steps further back in the pocket, opens it up, just put your leg through it, and he's certainly a great kicker. Ends up being a great punt there, too.
It's a great punt. Fields at the 21. Wilson, empty backfield, keeps this one himself. Out to the left and still going. He's going to get brought down at the 30. That'll move the chains. New set of downs for Westford.
Yeah, not really much to say there. It looked like Westford just set the edge on the outside. Unfortunately, Leominster didn't bring enough pressure from there, and they're expecting it to go to this field side. Again, I think Westford's not changing their game. Leominster's expecting that, though.
This one's going to be run by Moran. Still on his feet, and he'll get out of bounds at the 45, 46.
And clear up some room, too. Stop the clock. If you really want to have a chance back in this game, you got to score now, and you got to score quick. And I mean, it helps too that Leominster just stalled out. Hasn't happened until that point tonight.
Neither team really had. It was a very, as we said at the top of the half, very offensive affair.
It's been an offensive affair for Leominster. I think for Westford, they got away a little bit, and they've just had costly turnovers and really trying to stretch the field out in the second half, and just this defense has made them pay.
And snap is fumbled, and falling on, I believe it's going to be Wilson.
Looked like
only Blue Devil in the area was Giovanni DiMarzo.
Yeah, it ended up being Jamison Moran that ended up cleaning that one out.
Westford was looking to take that one under center, and Wilson just couldn't hold it.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, though. I mean, we haven't seen it too much this season, but, I mean, that quarterback-center exchange, earlier in the season, there was definitely an issue for other teams, especially St. John's in that first game.
Wilson sweeps out to the right. Oh, ducks through a tackle and finally stood up.
Yeah, a little bit of some extracurriculars here going. I think both teams are starting to, at least for Westford, they're starting to get a little bit more upset that it's been so tough now. And you don't I mean, you went 49-0 last week. You're trying to ride that high as much as you possibly can, but.
And this one's going to move forward. I believe it might have actually been a face mask.
Yeah, it ended up, it was a face mask on one of Leominster's D linemen. It looked like they were holding against Christopher Chason, but grabbed his face mask, brought him down to the ground, and works out, though.
Westford gets some free yards out of it. That puts them across midfield to the Blue Devils' 41. Clock's still rolling, just over 10 minutes to go.
An interesting thing here, too, is Ryan Ricker's not at corner. Got Lopez out there now.
Moran goes up the middle. He gets a few yards out of it.
So it might be something to look at, too. I mean, Not often are you gonna. I mean, Lopez has a lot of length there. He's obviously gotten a few picks, and Ricker comes back in as I'm talking about it. But why not just keep your hot player out there? He's been unstoppable tonight, honestly, on both sides of the ball. Been a complete game record.
I'd been concerned for Ricker. As stiff arm went up pretty high. That'll be just enough for a first down, I believe. Concerned for Ricker at the end of the last drive, as he came off limping, but seems to be fine.
Probably just a cramp at the end of the day, or maybe a muscle strain even. But again, those things, they come and they go.
1st and 10. Sweeping out to the left, and he's brought down hard. That is Benjamin Chen, the junior.
Yeah, big hit right there. Knocked him forward, though, so got a few more yards than you were hoping. Again, this clock just continues to go as Westford has a full-on personnel change. Now you're bringing out the spread offense.
2nd and 7. Wilson's going to put this one in the air. Going deep to the end zone. Caught by Ryan Kyle.
And again, Leominster trying out that cover 3. Just no help on the inside for Elijah Rivera. He's pressed on the outside. That was the thing I was surprised that Westford really got away from from that first half. It worked so well. I mean, just seems like it's been a little bit of a struggle for these corners today if you're not named Ryan Ricker.
And faking it, going for 2. And fighting for it. Forced to toe the line for quite a while, and he gets it.
Yeah.
Evan Pastors.
Yeah, so the tough part there, because they came out in the muddle huddle, you didn't get that quick look from that official, because normally you have one on that far pylon. However, he had to rush over there, so again, he was getting an interesting angle of that, so that's why it took a little bit more time there to decide what was the result there. But hey, 8 points on the board for Westford. It's still a game. I mean, there's 9 minutes left in this game pretty much. It's not over, and we're seeing right now, looks like Leominster's got some guys cramping up. We saw Ryan Ricker last drive. We got a guy right now. Sometimes what happens on these turf fields, you know, it's a little bit hotter. Sometimes you aren't as hydrated.
That is Nathaniel Hankins, the senior.
Yeah, he's been having a great day so far in the run game, at least. Had a few really big plays. So hopefully he's able to recover pretty quickly if it's just a cramp, hopefully. To get some water, eat a banana maybe.
Westford's deficit now only 11. Still 2 possessions, but makes it look a little easier now.
Yeah. It's certainly possible. I mean, all it takes is another stalled Leominster drive, and it is a game. I mean, if Westford can capitalize on that, score, just keep it close right now. That's all you got to do. Just keep fighting right now if you're wearing white and maroon. But if you're rooting for the black and blue tonight, just get some first downs. That's really what it comes down to. Just move the chains a couple times, keep that clock ticking, let it burn out, give them less of a chance to really do anything.
And he's got to bleed some clock here, and Kyle's going to take this kick from the center. Last 2 have come from the near hash mark.
They're expecting an onside kick here. I mean,
and it will be onside. Quickly fielded.
Richard Solomon, great job by him.
Richard Solomon falling right on it, right at midfield.
That was a great job. Tacked the ball there. Made sure it didn't get past him. Didn't want to give anyone a chance, really. Just great awareness.
It was a good effort, perhaps not the best onside kick. Floated just enough that he could get right under it.
Exactly. I mean, that's what you're looking for with these onside kicks, too. You're looking for it to take one of those weird bounces where it just all of a sudden it takes a sky-high bounce and gives your kickoff team a chance to at least get there and try to make it more of like a rebound in basketball almost.
Lopez and the Blue Devils taking this one from midfield. Cora is going to go up the middle. They're going to look to bleed the clock. Get some good yards out of it.
And that's all you're going to do right now. You're just going to try and run the ball effectively. If it doesn't work, then hey, pass game's been more than great tonight. It's been real masterful tonight. Right now, you're just going to try and make sure that between every play, try to take off 40 seconds right now. That's what you're asking for.
Using every second of that play clock.
And if you can just take off 4 minutes of this clock, makes it really tough for Westford to climb back into this game.
Hand it off to Cora again, going down the left side, going out of bounds.
Great block right there by Vittorio Pemerini. He was able to set the edge for Cora, gave him some room to work with. I mean, ideally, you don't want to go out of bounds, but again, Cora's been doing a lot tonight. So
He's had a fantastic night. He and Ricker have been carrying the offense largely.
for sure.
Delgado with some good catches in there as well.
I think Delgado's had a really underrated game, and he's been asked to move the chains. Ricker's been asked to get the explosive plays. It's been really effective.
Cora, and they were ready for that one. He's going to be brought down for a loss.
Yeah, Sean Cryan, great play right there, coming in from that weak side linebacker. Just read the hole perfectly, met Cora, tackled him by the ankles. You can't really ask for much more out of these linebackers for Westford.
Loss of 2, second and 12, 7:40 and ticking in this one.
And I think if you run the ball here, take Cora out for a play maybe. Try bring Reyes back in.
Lopez steps to his right. Still not over the line. Dodgers one. What a great move. Still going. And brought out of bounds well past the first down marker.
Yeah, it was just a great jump cut right there. He's able to stop on a dime and plant inside. Just great football going on right now if you're Leominster. He's just Westford. That was probably the first time where they came close to sending a spy, and Lopez just beats out of it. I think that's why if you're any team going against Leominster going forward, I think you got to send at least 2 guys, or if not, just have a second guy watching Lopez where you can just at least keyhole him into a single area rather than letting him have the whole field.
Ricker was in motion there. Keep this one with Cora. And he's swallowed up. Gets a few yards out of it.
I think right now, maybe just give Cora a break for the night on offense. Just run the ball with Reyes. It's been just as effective. I know you can count on Cora to at least give you that hard 3 to 4 every play, but Reyes has also been just amazing. I'm not exactly sure what he's averaging tonight, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. Just you want to look out for Cora's health like long term in a game like this.
I would have full confidence in Reyes to be able to put up just as many yards. It'll be Cora once again. Reed is set to the left. Cora cuts back to the right. He's going to go right up the center. Sneaking through. Xavier Cora puts this one to bed.
You know what? I say these things, and you know what? Maybe I should just shut up because that's the type of play that you get when you have Cora too. Reyes can do that, but again, Cora, he just bounces off guys so effortlessly. His ability to just have that contact and fight through it, and he doesn't go down easily. That's what you get right there. It's just electric stuff right now, and we're starting to see people starting to make their way towards the exit. Not shocking. I mean, it's a 17-point game now. Leominster going to try to go for 2 here.
Cora made that one look nice and easy. This would make it a 3-possession game if it converts.
And they're really spreading out their receivers on that far side.
Creating a very large gap to the right. Lopez is going to put this one in the air. Scrambles out to his left, stops. And he's going to finally get swallowed up.
Yeah, that's like the first sack we've seen. Like, other than Catholic Memorial, that's like one of the first sacks we've seen Lopez take. Where just you give him that time to be shifty, and normally he escapes just so effortlessly. That time, though, finally gets home.
Someone finally gets to him. Lopez is almost so elusive, it feels like he has an extra blocker with how hard it is to get to him.
I mean, it's got somebody working for him, whether it be a ghost or whatnot. I don't know what it is, but it seems like he just always gets out of every situation. And he's one of the best athletes on the field almost at all times. So slippery. Can't ask for much more out of the quarterback. Just knowing that you will have that extra few seconds as a pass protector every single time, and just as a receiver, knowing that, hey, I don't have to get open right away. I can get open off the scramble drill normally. That's a game changer as an offense.
That comes with 6:21 to go in the game. 42-25 the score. Blue Devils up by a lot. Kick is a line drive. Fielded. And able to get a good return out of it. Up to the 35. Right around where, as we were saying earlier in the game, right around where Leominster seems to stop everyone.
Yeah, I mean, Westford's had a really effective kick return game. Normally we've seen a lot of these other teams, normally they only get it to like the 25, 30. But the fact that that's probably the worst one we've seen from them tonight, getting to the 34. You can't ask for much more, like in terms of like starting field position for your offense. It's just, tonight's been a tough one for Westford. Leominster's been clicking on offense. They haven't really made any mistakes. It's just Ryan Ricker is by far and away the player of the game.
Ricker has been announcing his presence today, and this is a very good run. Finally brought down from behind, almost to midfield. That was Moran.
Yeah, just great job getting in the second level. Great blocking from that up front. For Westford, if you're a Grey Ghost, that's just a great job making sure that all your guys win their one-on-ones and you're reaching those linebackers. It's good stuff.
Jameson Moran once again, this time out to the right. Still going. And finally brought down. It was Elijah Rivera in on the tackle.
Yeah, I think right now, Leominster, their goal of this drive, we're making sure that you at least have a 6-play drive where you have to take time off the clock in between every play. That's the goal. We've seen that right now. They're just trying to make sure that they don't let off a 40-yard run here. They're just trying to make sure that, hey, if you're going to take, you can take your 10 a pop, but.
Snap is low. He'll keep this one himself. Alex Wilson is able to get a first down on it.
Again, it's been an effective run game from Westford, but if you're Leominster, yeah, we'll let you run the ball every single play. And at that point,
more than welcome to run your own time off the clock.
Exactly. And granted, all it takes is one, but they're just trying to make sure that they have enough guys back where if they're going to beat us, they're not going to beat us far. I mean, we're even seeing with Corey, he's a few yards back than he normally would.
This is Pastors. Takes a shovel. Get some good yards out of it. Not enough, just enough for a first down, excuse me.
They're moving, it's almost like they have a 3 safety set here too, because they're moving core so far back, so it's almost like playing nickel. They're really trying to make sure that they don't let Westford air the ball out. So I wouldn't be shocked if now this is where we start to see them try and hit that post that they've been seeing working with Ryan Kyle tonight. But again, they're shading an extra safety over now.
Wilson out to his right. Good blocking. Flag on the play. I think it might be a holding.
Yeah, it looked like Mika Powell. He was getting held a little bit outside of his jersey, so I think we're going to bring this one 10 yards back. And just, again,
that is the case. Hold on the offense.
And I mean, Mika Powell still makes the tackle on the play, too.
Power, such a great physical presence, especially on defense.
He's only a freshman. I can't ask for much more of someone where this is their first time playing high school football. The fact that he's just been so solid, and granted, he's made mistakes, so has everyone else on this field. That's the great thing about learning. You get to make these mistakes in real time, and you're going to continue to grow as a defensive lineman.
Moran sheds a tackle and brought down.
Again, Mika Powell coming in, cleaning out. Nate Hankins met him first, Didn't bring him down originally, but again, Powell just comes in, lays the boom.
2nd and 20, 3:50 and counting.
And now they're going for the deep ball here.
Wilson doesn't have much of a choice. Pass is caught. And it's a good gain.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was almost like a screenplay. It was let these guys come in and hey, I'll dump it off to Moran here. Gets just a bit over the linebacker's head that was coming in, and nice little dump off. Definitely gets you back into 3rd and manageable after you're in that 1st and 20 not too long ago.
Potential broken play turns into a 3rd and 5.
And now they're sending out the quad, so they're gonna try and let it air out. Nope, just kidding.
Wilson will keep this one himself.
Yeah, but Leominster getting home finally with these pass rushers.
Leominster's line, good to get to that one. Under 3 minutes to go now. Clock continues to bleed for Westford. Fourth and probably about 3.
I think Westford just wants to get out of this game healthy too. They're starting to just let the clock bleed out. Let's just make sure that we don't get anyone hurt on this last drive.
Westford calls a timeout. 2:37 to go on the clock. 4th and 3 will be their task. 17 points the deficit. 3-possession game. This one all but over.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, your Westford, not ideal. Just came off of a huge victory last week against Belmont, but again, it's a reality check for them. And Leominster right in the ship here after coming off a tough game at home against Catholic Memorial. Start to at least set the dominance here in Division 1. Going against Westford, and it was a close game last year. Different story this year.
Perhaps cementing themselves as one of the teams to beat in this division. Blue Devils set to go to 4-1 with this one.
And now they're going to head into the bye. Again, just a chance to let you guys rest. I mean, I know there's definitely going to be a few guys that certainly need it. A couple guys got hurt in this game. Nothing wrong with letting the bruises heal a little bit over this next week that you're going to have. Get a little bit more time to prepare for Wachusett in 2 weeks when we see you folks again.
Chance as well, a really big name that's circled on the injury chart. It's Juan Miranda as we're seeing a reversal. Pass is caught in the end zone, or perhaps just short of the end zone.
He definitely caught it. It's just a matter of if he was in bounds or not.
That's Quinn Reynolds, and they're going to give him the touchdown.
Yeah, so that's been the story of tonight. I mean, it seems like all of Westford's pass plays have come onto their offensive right side. They've found a difficulty there.
Quinn Reynolds has been the main target for them, and finally gets his touchdown.
Quinn Reynolds and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name right now. Ryan Kyle, I'm so sorry. But again, just those two, they've been dominating as the alpha receivers on that outside there. They're just taking advantage of it. Now they're moving Osiris out there to corner. Try to see if that makes a little bit of a difference at least.
As of right now, lined up for Kyle to take the kick. And it's going to be a fake again.
Yep.
Sweeping out to the left.
Speed
Pitched.
option.
Pitch to Kyle, and it'll be good.
Yeah, so that's speed option right there. You got two lanes. You got a pitch lane. There's nobody outside to contain. Kyle makes them pay.
Deficit now 9 points. Still a 2-possession game. 2:30 to go. Have to imagine there's another onside kick coming.
Got to at least. Definitely getting the personnel for it. They're trying to make sure that they got their hands team out there. Again, it's a 9-point game. It's not completely, I mean, it's still 2 scores, but 2.5 minutes. You just got to hope that maybe you recover it, go down, and you got to do it all over again. But again, game's not over. It doesn't help that you only have 1 timeout right now, but again, we just have another high-scoring affair between these teams. It's just been nothing but offense tonight.
Again, you remember pretty early in the third quarter, Westfield took a timeout And we started to question if maybe that would have any sort of effect, and it's possible that it just might, especially if this onside
yeah,
kick
absolutely.
matters.
It's possible, but again, they would have had to hold another one of their timeouts that they had, trying to prepare for another personnel change that they had a couple drives ago. But again, I mean, yeah, you can point to that, but I think either way, just because there isn't like the real 2-minute warning that you have in most other formats, you don't get that extra timeout. So yeah, it probably would have been helpful for sure. But again, I think either way, you still have a lot of pressure on just recovering this onside kick here.
2.5 minutes to go, 9 points the deficit for Westford. 1 timeout to play with for them, 2 for Leominster, not that they would need them. We've seen Kyle change up his position a little bit. This one comes from the center. Last time it was here, they went for the onside. Leominster lines up for it.
Don't be shocked if they try to kick it up the middle too here. Yep, and that's what they're doing.
And that'll be fielded, quickly falling down.
Yep, Parisi.
It's Parisi.
Jack Parisi, folks. Great job basically icing the game. So.
And that will all but do it. 2.5 minutes to go. Blue Devils get the ball from their own 30.
Can't exactly knee it out, but you're gonna run it here. See, maybe if you can pick up a first down, and that's hopefully when you see triple zeros with another win in the record.
Lopez has Cora behind him. Still sticking with Cora. Cora gets this one. Looks to go up the middle. Gets a couple of yards out of it.
Yeah, I mean, hard 4. That's exactly what you're looking for. You just want to make sure that you get a first down here. Take some time off the clock, too. And see if Westford burns their final timeout. Just that way, if you pick up the first down, then it's just basically Osiris Lopez kneels it out. And that's game.
That is really the wild card, is that last timeout. Can't really kneel it out until you burn that.
Exactly, and who knows. Let's see what Westford does here. And Cyrus Lopez's job is to watch that official, and once he puts his hand down, that's when he snaps it.
Cora up the middle after faking left. And he stood up. And that will be enough for a first down.
It's a first down. It's just a matter of now Westford
There's
calls
the
the timeout. So I'm pretty sure it's still kneeing out territory. Just because it is minute 30. I mean, if we count it right, 40 seconds on both. That takes off a minute 20 here. So, I mean, you get 3 downs, and pretty sure you should just be able to kneel this one out 3 times, and that'll be the end of the game.
Should be from here. Blue Devils will improve to 4-1 on the season, having a great year for them. We knew it was coming. Showed a lot of good potential last season.
And it looks like it's Xavier Cora that's down. I'm not 100% sure.
Xavier.
Not 100% sure yet, though. Thought I saw that thick elbow brace that he normally wears, so it's the only thing I'm going off of.
Don't see Cora coming out of this huddle. Your Blue Devil looks like just cramping, hopefully.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be shocked just because Cora's really been going at it tonight. I think about time that you just bring Aramis Reyes in and just let him, if you're going to run any more plays, let them run it out. But, I mean, again, it should just be 3 knees and let it go out for the night. Right now they're just working on his calf, and he should be fine for next game, folks.
Nonetheless, Blue Devils improved to 4-1 on the season with probably 3 of the biggest tests coming in Algonquin, Wachusett, and Shrewsbury.
That's going to be what, I'm not going to say makes or breaks your season, but if you can just take control of this mid-watch league and walk away at least 2-1, or you can get 3-0. I mean, hey, that's going to put you real high in these Division I rankings. But again, that's what you look for.
Westfield Academy drops to 2-2 with this result. Next game for them will be next Friday in Waltham. 7 o'clock start time for that. Blue Devils going into the bye week with this. 2 weeks from now will be the big test against Wachusett.
They're not going to knee it out. Interesting.
Running at least one more to be safe.
Yeah. Let's take a couple seconds off the clock here. I mean, again, so that's second down. You just let it go out to about 54 seconds. You should be able to knee it twice now.
Run from Ray has gained 3, 2nd and 7. Just short of midfield.
Now they're taking victory formation, folks. So that's going to do it for tonight. Leominster taking their foot off the gas as we will stop with a 42-33 game. That's it, 4-1 walking into the bye week. Not really any better way that you could have painted this picture.
If you're the Blue Devils, that was exactly what you would have wanted. Coming off a big loss like that last week, having a statement victory against a team in your division.
Absolutely, and no better way to walk off, folks.
42-33 will be your final score after what'll probably be one last knee. Perhaps not. And that'll be all she wrote. 42-33. Blue Devils take this one over the Westford Academy. Gray Ghost for Liam Carton and our LTV production crew. My name is Cody Roy. Have a good night.
LTV's Action Sports is brought to you in part through the generous support of these Leominster sponsors. By MP Crowley Company Incorporated. www.mpcrowleyinc.com